Hello my fellow students and entrepreneur friends. In this detailed video, I'll educate you about what is design thinking and its different tools, and will also explain it in detail. Design thinking is the best approach to minimize costs for any project while maximizing the overall impact of the products or services. It can allow the startup owners get into the shoes of the customers and learn from their perspective and implement the best features in their products or services. It can allow increase overall impact of the products or services for the customer. What is design thinking? Design thinking is the real-life approach of using some basic tools like brainstorming, human cognition, visual mapping, and strategic and practical processes through which new innovations can take place for new products and services. Although, design thinking is much more than a simple concept, and to understand design thinking properly, we first have to become acquainted with design mindset. Design mindset is the perception of human mind towards the implementation of design thinking. We can better understand design mindset and design thinking with an example of a car. For instance, suppose that you have any car, but no fuel, then having a car would be worthless. Similarly, you must need a design mindset to use and implement design thinking. It was due to the design mindset of some geniuses like Jeff Bezos, Larry Page, and Steve Jobs that they were able to innovate and introduce some very unique products and services to their customers. In simple words, design mindset is the design thinking approach of innovation or problem solving, which is somewhat related to the knowledge, expertise, and understanding of designers and innovators. Earlier, a new concept of design mindset. Some of the earlier entrepreneurs and marketers have a misconception about the design mindset, that it is a property of only geniuses, like Steve Jobs and Bill Gates. This misconception became famous with the name of Moses myth. Earlier, most entrepreneurs and managers thought that design mindset is more like a magic, where the Moses raises hands, some kind of magic begins, and the geniuses get a revolutionary idea of new products or services. However, this misconception was later broken by the new design thinking approach, which divided the whole innovation process into questionable parts, as follows. 1. What is? What is part denotes what is going inside the organization or business that is facing issues and that needs to be changed, need a solution, or a new innovation. 2. What if? What if part denotes the design mindset approach of the entrepreneur or manager who think what might happen if a particular solution or innovation is introduced into the business. 3. What wows? As the name suggests, what wows part denotes the implementation process of innovation, where the manager or entrepreneur checks what would work under the given circumstances, in the given industry and business constraints. 4. What works? Finally, what works is the prototyping or implementation phase in some cases, where the manager or entrepreneur checks what is working for the organization, in the given circumstance of marketing and industry constraints. Design mindset from managers and entrepreneurs' perspective. If managers and entrepreneurs want to develop design thinking capabilities within themselves, then they have to understand the concept of design mindset in detail, from their perspective. Design mindset for managers or entrepreneurs is just like a building block that must contain other traits, like his or her experience, cognition capabilities, expertise in business, and different skills that he or she possesses. Nowadays, the creativity part has also added in the design mindset because it can help the managers and entrepreneurs develop more pronounced and effective innovations. For instance, think what would have come into the mind of Steve Jobs when he was about to innovate something revolutionary like iPhone. What would be his creative capabilities to innovate something so unique and revolutionary? This is the reason why the CEOs of large organizations are now looking forward to enhance their design mindset while learning creativity. Meanwhile, you would have realized, while searching internet, that some new tools like Canvas, graphics, infographics, etc. have become widely popular among many industries and businesses nowadays because they are all relevant to design mindset. So, most of the management organizations are also emphasizing to let their students learn creativity and creativity tools. Different stages in design thinking. Design thinking has following different stages. 1. Empathize. Empathize is the first stage of design thinking, where the innovators try to get into the shoes of customers and experience the products or services from their perspective. It is crucial for the innovators to understand the issues the customers would have faced while using the products or services with the help of empathy. But before innovators dive into this stage, it would be beneficial to understand the difference between empathy and sympathy, because many innovators consider empathy like sympathy. Sympathy is like a shared feeling, which would be in the form of sorrow or compassion for the other person. For instance, if someone loses his or her loved ones, then you may feel sympathetic to him while sharing his feelings of sadness. However, empathy is a much stronger feeling, which is not directly related to sorrow or compassion. Empathy lets you see the world from the perspective of the person you are empathetic with. You put yourself into the shoes of the person you are empathetic with. For instance, suppose that your customer is unable to use your services on the internet, then you must feel empathetic about that person while providing him the best approach to use your services. 2. Define. Define is the second stage of design thinking, where the innovators define the main issues or problems that the customer has been facing while using the products or services of the company. Define is also a stage where everything related to the future of the project is defined properly, considering the inputs that innovators get during the empathize stage. The project proceedings would be defined on the basis of the issues of customers, their requirements, and their challenges while using the products or services of the company. For instance, suppose that the innovators have found during the empathize stage that the customers are facing issues while using the website of the company due to inflexible user interface. Now, the innovators will define the objectives of the project, for instance to make changes in the user interface, to make the website responsive and flexible, to provide frequently asked questions and other options for customers, etc. 3. Ideate. Ideate is the third stage of the design thinking, where the innovators take the outcomes of the earlier stages, that is define and empathize, to make some new innovations in the products or services of the company. Now, the CEO will ask the concerned departments of the company, including the innovators, to use different tools of design thinking, like brainstorming, value stream mapping, visualization, mind mapping, etc., to provide a most plausible solution to the customer. This solution may be in the form of some changes to the products or services, or the introduction of some new features in the products or services. For instance, in our website example, some more features can be added to the existing website, which would make the website flexible and user-friendly, or a new smartphone application can be launched for the customers who don't find the website helpful. 4. Prototyping. There are many cases where directly implementing the new innovations might be expensive or time-consuming. Moreover, if the new innovation won't work properly, then the whole design thinking approach would be wasted. Therefore, in the next stage of prototyping, a prototype of the proposed innovation is built with the help of some cheap alternatives. For instance, if the company decides to launch a new smartphone app, then the innovators and designers can simply use sticky notes to depict the different frames or pages of the app. 5. Testing. The testing in the design thinking strategy is not similar to other approaches. In design thinking, the real users are asked to test or take the trial of the prototype version of the products or services developed by the design thinking team. If the customers like the prototype version of the product or service, then the manufacturing department is asked to start the manufacturing, or the developer team is assigned to develop the product or service. In case of IT industry, if the customers don't like the product, then the innovators are asked to make some more changes in the prototype for further testing. 9 Best design thinking tools. The best approach to achieve design thinking and implement the different strategies of design thinking within the organization is to educate the employees to use the 9 most beneficial tools of design thinking. Following are such best 9 design thinking tools. First, visualization. Visualization is one of the best tools of design thinking because any average Joe can use visualization for innovating something new or for finding the solutions to the problems of the customers. Visualization is also not new. In fact, every person uses visualization because it is mandatory for the person complete his day-to-day chores. For instance, when you try to cross the road, having a large traffic, then you first visualize the whole situation in your mind, through visualization, and then find out the best time to cross the road. The innovators use the imagery of their mind to envision different possibilities of the problem and bring the solution to life. They use visualization to transform information into images. Visualization is also the most plausible design thinking tool because the human mind is structured in a way which helps better visualization. The human brain is divided into two different hemispheres, the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere. Our right brain holds the spatial and visual holistic thinking, while our left brain holds sequential and deductive reasoning capabilities. Therefore, visualization can help the innovators connect to the different hemispheres simultaneously while searching for the innovation or solution to the problems. Second, journey mapping. Journey mapping is another most plausible design thinking tool because it can also help the people to connect with the different hemispheres. In journey mapping, the whole visual map of the entire journey of the customer is made on the basis of visual maps or images. For instance, in our services example, the innovators can make a journey map of the whole process of how your customer is using your website or smartphone application and where he is facing issues to use the services. Journey mapping is also crucial to point out the crucial aspects of the innovation. Third, mind mapping. Mind map is similar to journey map, with few differences, where the innovators are asked to put their innovations, ideas, or solutions in a simple graphical representation on the sketch or poster. Mind mapping tool is the great tool to explore the ideas of the different members of the design thinking team. Fourth, assumption testing. Assumption testing is another crucial design thinking tool, and as the name suggests, assumption testing refers to the different assumptions that the innovators can make for the innovations or the solutions of the issues of customers. Assumption testing can help the company mitigate issues of failure in the overall innovation. Fifth, storytelling. Storytelling is another crucial design thinking tool, but it is not like the traditional way of storytelling, which our grandmothers used to help us sleep. In design thinking, storytelling refers to the visual illustration of the ideas of the design thinkers and innovators. Storytelling is a good approach for new innovations, because different innovators would have a different way to define the same story of innovation. The team leaders can find the similarities in the stories of different innovators, which would further help them to find out the most plausible innovation or solution. Therefore, storytelling can further help the company test and develop ideas before the main stage of implementation. Sixth, brainstorming. Brainstorming is the main design thinking tool, where all the team members of the design thinking team gather together to generate most plausible innovations or solutions of the issues of customers. Brainstorming can be used during the ideation stage to find the most plausible innovation or solution for the issues of customers. Brainstorming can further help in understanding the customer empathy and persona in detail. Seventh, rapid prototyping. Rapid prototyping is the most plausible design thinking tool, which can be used during the prototyping stage of design thinking for making rapid prototypes of the innovation or solution. It is an iterative process of developing and improving the prototypes for the final innovation. Rapid prototyping is the easy tool, which can be used by the innovators to transform concepts into feasible and testable models before applying large budget on innovations or solutions. 8. Opportunity framing. Opportunity framing refers to the relook into the challenges of designing while reframing into opportunity. Opportunity framing helps the designers to better define the design challenge while ensuring that all relevant notes are considered or not. Final, user personas. User persona is another crucial tool. In fact, most of the marketing and advertising agencies use user persona to increase the throughput of marketing and advertising campaigns. The user persona refers to the making of a demo persona of the user on the basis of the most plausible demographics of customers. An imaginary character is developed in user persona, which clearly defines the main purpose of the innovation or solution. For instance, suppose that the services provided by the company are related to healthcare, then a most plausible user persona of customer would be a 40-year-old male or female with good income, with an urge to invest in healthcare services. Conclusion. design thinking has become a most plausible way to innovate something new for the organization or find the solutions of the existing issues of customers. However, since the concept of design thinking is new, many changes are still required to make it most plausible for every industry business. There are still quite a few challenges of design thinking implementation in many industry organizations. The most common challenge of design thinking implementation is resistance to change. Many employees in the organization may resist to the implementation of design thinking because of the fear of uncertainty of the decisions that will be made in the design thinking implementation process. Most employees and even managers often have a misconception in their mind that this change may affect their performance, work-life balance, and relations with the seniors within the organization. Anyway, design thinking is becoming a most plausible way for large organizations because it can also help them cut costs on unnecessary innovations through its different stages. So, this was the detailed video on what is design thinking and its different tools. If you like the video, then please like, share, and subscribe to my channel to get more